If you have watched my previous video about the state of World of Tanks, you're going to find this video very interesting, and I'm going to talk about something absolutely mind-blowing, as well as share some additional thoughts about the Iyouxin situation. Well guys, today is a very sad day for Wargaming, and potentially for us as well, because Wargaming is planning to shut down their brand new, freshly released game, Steel Hunters. And this is the game I was actually talking about in my previous video, when I mentioned that, this overly aggressive monetization that we are experiencing in World of Tanks is actually there to support the development of their other projects, such as Project CW and Steel Hunters, this mech game that I'm talking about. And Steel Hunters came out of early access, and I was released in April on Steam. And what is April like? That was 3 months ago, right? And the game is already getting shut down. Okay. Let me show you guys the little announcement they made about this. And I mean, no wonder, because I'm gonna show you guys something kind of crazy. You know how I mentioned in my video that Wargaming is working on 2 new games? Steel Hunters, the mech game, and Project CW, which we haven't heard about anything. Well, guess what? Steel Hunters just came out and is already being shut down 90 days after today's announcement. So, to put things together and create a bigger picture for you guys, Wargaming is monetizing World of Tanks like crazy, right? In the last 6 months only, we've seen insane amounts of cash grab events. Loot boxes upon loot boxes, Waffenträger E100, many paid events, battle pass grinds, which you cannot even complete without playing 70 games a day. And I repeat, 70 battles a day. And so one might wonder, what exactly does Wargaming need all this money for? And now guys, I'm going to show you something incredibly sad and infuriating at the same time. Steel Hunters sunsetting. Hello Hunters. Today we share difficult news. We've made a decision to sunset. What even does that mean? Sunset Steel. Shut down Steel Hunters, bro. Just say it. Don't need this propaganda bullshit. You've given us so much passion and support. Yeah, 3.7 thousand people online at the same time, man. Any server is more popping than this game that's brand new, man. That's crazy. Unfortunately, we've come to the conclusion that continuing development is not sustainable. Oh, really? Who would have thought, man? We know this isn't the news anyone wanted to hear, and we genuinely share in your disappointment. What happens now? Let's make these final months special together. Servers will stay live for 90 days. We want you to enjoy Steel Hunters fully until the very end. So, we'll be keeping the game servers running for 3 months from today. Expect them to shut down around October the 8th. No, literally, when did this come out? Steel Hunters release date came out the 2nd of April. 3 months ago, and it's already getting shut down, man. Great to know that our gambling addiction was financing this new game, huh? Imagine World of Tanks with this engine, dude. Imagine instead of wasting their time, they make World of Tanks with this engine. Bro, look at this. 94 players in a 24-hour peak. All-time high, 3,700, dude. Wow, I mean, no wonder, bro. No wonder, dude. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. 100 people played this game. That is a colossal L, man. So there are 2 options here, and I'm not gonna waste your time. The 2 options are very simple. 1, they need the money to satisfy the needs of new games, new projects that they're working on, such as Project CW, which we have not heard anything about recently, or at least I have not heard anything about recently. If you guys have, please tell me in the comments how the development of that game is looking like right now. And the second thing is Steel Hunters, which is, well, as you can see, it's a project that utterly failed, and that Wargaming communicates that it's being shut down merely 3 months after it got released in April. I mean, yeah, it's just mind-blowing to me. It's absolutely mind-blowing at this point. And the second thing is, if this money is not being spent on future projects, because let's be honest, I think 3,700 people playing this game on release is a super low number. And that kind of tells me that they literally did not spend any money on marketing it, right? Which is terrible for a new game. Did you guys hear about Steel Hunters before my video? Did you guys hear about Steel Hunters on any kind of media platform? Because personally, the only way I heard about it was when my Twitch chat told me that this game is going to exist. It's mind-blowing. So if this money is not being spent on marketing, or is not being spent on projects, or a huge portion of their income from the overly monetized content is not actually being spent on future project, then what is it actually being spent on? I mean, okay, I understand Wargaming is a company, right? They have to pay salaries, they have to pay the servers, they have to pay services, whatever. Okay, that's fine. I understand that. It's a business, right? And people also going to pocket a lot of money of that, right? Because that's how companies work. You want to take out a big share, a big portion of the revenue. But it gives me an extremely sour taste in my mouth that I am part of this monetization because I'm making content about their game. I'm making content about new releases, right? That are actually costing you money. I'm making content about new premium tanks. I'm making content about basically anything that releases into the game that is payable and buyable with money. But I do not see this money being recycled, reinvested into the game we all dearly love and play. We don't see any of it. We don't see any of it. And again, the September update has to be of biblical proportions, in my opinion, to make up for all this negative sentiment that was born between World of Tanks and the community. It has to be of absolutely biblical proportions. And honestly, at this point, I don't even know if it's going to be enough, you know, to turn this around, to justify this spending spree that they have sparked from the community, which caused obviously this overly negative sentiment. What do you guys think? What kind of features can the September update bring that is going to turn around the whole picture and potentially make a vast proportion of the disappointed player base happy? Tell me in the comments, guys. I would like to thank you for your immense support that was followed after my last video about the issue. And thank you so much for all the personal support as well that you guys provided me with. The support about the future content that I would like to create. The support regarding the travel vlog channel that I was talking about. I actually planned out my very first trip, and it's going to be to a country which is incredibly controversial, not very visited, and I believe I can make some super interesting content from there, interviewing locals, talking about history, show you guys some cool historical sites, basically paint a picture of a place that is literally not visited at all. And I think it's going to be massively intriguing. So I'm going to make another channel for this. I'm not gonna post the video here unless I deem it good enough for this channel. But I would like to create a separate channel because I don't want to mix up World of Tanks or tank games with this genre. And I would like to also attract in some new subscribers. So I think it's going to be an absolutely fascinating journey, and I'm super excited to get started. I'm also going to order my camera gear, do some research on what angles to use and what is the best way to film, because I have never done it before. So I'm going to have to look into all of this. As for World of Tanks, I think the community has reached a point, following my last video, that we need some kind of statement from Wargaming. We need to know what is happening behind the lines. We as a community, we would like to know what is happening behind the curtains. What is going to happen in September? Why should the community be excited? I don't think a 1-minute video that was released in December last year, showing some kind of modern tank, a brand new garage, all that stuff is going to cut it at this point. We are being absolutely milked over here. And you guys have invested the absolute bare minimum back into the game over the last couple of months / years. I think Wargaming has to give us a little bit of an insight into what we can expect in September. Give us a 2-minute teaser video. Give us a 3-minute teaser video. Something on the table that we can actually look forward to. And break this negative sentiment that you have set up between you and the player base. People are incredibly upset and they would like to see their money actually go into the development of the game they love and enjoy. Not into some failed projects that are dead on arrival. Not into some projects that get zero marketing. Not into some projects that get absolutely no announcement. People would like content for their money. People would like development for their money. And what it seems to me is that Wargaming is desperately trying to fish for another game that is going to be their next cash cow, such as World of Tanks. So far, World of Warplanes has failed. World of Warships is absolutely dying, from what I can see. Project CW, we don't know anything about right now what is going to happen with this title. But, to be honest with you, Fortnite / Overwatch with tanks, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is going to be something that is aimed at the Zoomers, the Zoomers and Alphas, the new generation, I think there's way better games and way better ideas than putting in some kind of ChatGPT tank to circle a map and go around and shooting each other than other games. And now we can see that Steel Hunters, which was the mech game that was promising to many, well, it gets shut down merely, what, 6 months after its release from early access? People would like to see a statement. People would like to see why they're actually paying, you know? Fair, fair. Okay, as I said, pocket the big portion of the money. But World of Tanks is still massively profitable, especially when it's getting milked like this, like in the last couple of months. Especially then. Or we would like to see something invested back, or at least a clue that there is something invested back into the product that people pay for. Because as I said, I feel like we are reaching a boiling point where it's, you know, it's going to be just too much. What is also going to be very interesting to see, since this project failed, the Steel Hunters project failed completely and utterly, is Wargaming going to try to overcompensate their losses? I mean, this game, I don't know how much it costs. I'm not familiar with development costs regarding a game like this, but I'm pretty sure it was not cheap to produce this. Are they going to overcompensate and keep up with the overly aggressive monetization? Are we going to see more of that this year? I really hope we will not. Regarding the Iyouxin situation, I would like to express my disappointment with some other content creators. I feel like Klaus Kellerman is actually right in that regard, that we are playing in the same team. If Wargaming is only producing monetized content, that is going to alienate the player base to an extent where nobody is going to watch content about this game. And then we are essentially all going to suffer with the revenue loss in our jobs. If we do not stand up for ourselves in this case, and if we do not communicate the community's negative sentiment and not make videos about this, nothing's ever gonna change. And you don't have to like Iyouxin. If you're a content creator, you don't have to like Iyouxin to be able to realize that what happened is absolute BS. And he literally did the exact same thing as other content creators. He did not actually incite unrest. What incited unrest was Wargaming's round-felt and multi-tier loot boxes that you had to spend on $1,500 to guarantee you every single tank that is in those loot boxes in case you didn't have any from beforehand. That is what incited the unrest. Not a video where he asks people not to buy loot boxes. He didn't ask CCs to stop creating videos, but I think we as CCs, we as content creators, should all stand next to him. Because what happened was utter BS, and you guys all know it. We all know it. Yet it seems like we're just letting this slide, buried into the sand like nothing happened. Why? Guys, please tell me your opinion in the comments. Thank you once again for your incredible support, and thank you so much for watching this video.